What's up, what's up, what's up? Yo, what's going on, everybody? Listen, we are going to be now back on live. Sorry, I just finished with the gym, and we're getting ready for the next workshop and everything like that. Oh, shoot, maybe I shouldn't have put it. Well, look, hey, Web3, blockchain, cryptocurrency, we're going back to the beginning. Let's get you set up and ready for the future. So we have the workshop at school, all right, if you go to school, S-K-O-O-L, school.com/W3MCT. I'll be doing workshops from 11:30 to 1, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe. We may change the days. They will be recorded, and at the same time, we'll do introductions here live on YouTube. On YouTube, we'll just talk about what's going on in the world of crypto, blockchain, and Web3, how you should, start preparing yourself for this future, and if you don't know about it, what things you should know about. My name is Simon. I go by Simon Online. I am the CTO and founder of W3MCT, and also the co-founder of Learn Web3. I've developed and helped other people with blockchain, done a lot of research, and I'm here to just at least share my information with you. If you want some more hands-on approach when it comes to trading, earning, using decentralized applications, DeFi platforms, that's what we have my school for, with the support and help of Alex Ramosi, creating school. We put W3MCT on school. It's there, $50 a month, and what I go over is what to look for, how to use on-chain analytics, and some trading strategies too. So remember, everything I discuss is not financial advice. It's for informational, educational purposes only, and to share with you what I'm doing in the markets right now. So since this is a first live session and introduction, let's just tell you what's up right now. So Bitcoin has recently made a new all-time high, reaching about 124,000. And there was a long time ago where everyone was saying this new technology was going nowhere. And so, well, we're still here, and it's not dead, and it's not at zero, surprising. Now, will it stay at 120? Who knows? Will it stay above 100? Who knows? That doesn't matter. What matters is that you need to figure out if you're going to stay on the sidelines or you're going to participate in the market. See, like I ask people all the time, do you think the future is going to be more digital or less digital? Do you think the future will have more people online or less people online? If you answered yes to both of those questions, right, more digital, more people online, and then it would be to your advantage to get ahead of the curve. Still, when you go out into the regular, every single day, IRL world, most people don't know what Bitcoin is, most people do not know what crypto is, and most people don't understand blockchain. They don't even understand AI. Most people still don't understand money and don't even understand the marketplace. So you're watching this video right now, trust me, you're gaining edge and you're getting ahead of the curve. Now, allow me at W3MCT to help you enhance your future self. Now, so, not too long ago I made a short and I said, hey, BlackRock is selling some Bitcoin to buy some Ethereum. It was a really small amount, like let's just get it real, but that's not what it was, right? It was the signal, okay? What was the price of the Ethereum at that time? You can go back to my short and look at the video and check it. But it wasn't at 4,500. I tell you that, okay? And it wasn't at 4,000, okay? So there are ways that you can help yourself get ahead of the curve, but it's gonna require you to do some research, right? Do your due diligence and understand just how these players play. Like, when I mean the players, I mean like those suits, you know what I mean? The suits, they play this market game really well. Trust me, they got a really good head start over everyone. And when I tell you, they know how to fuck with your emotions, all right, through volatility, that is exactly what they will do. So, now that you know that information, how can we use that information to keep you ahead of that? Well, the first thing, you're gonna hate what I'm about to say. Because you think it's nonsense, but it's not nonsense. It's mindset. It really is. Because once you understand this information, you have to understand that you can't make super emotional decisions on your strategy, right? Your process, when to get in and when to get out. Now, once you've mastered that part, okay, and really it's just a decision, right? Because I'm not going to sit here and show you how to trade or how to use a platform. We'll have some workshops that actually go through that, okay? But look, if you can like a video by pressing a button, if you can click, if you can do this, right, on a mouse or a tablet or screen, you can trade, right? You can use the blockchain. So that's it. Everything else is just knowledge and information. That's it, okay? So let me give you some, I'm still, like I said, I just finished working out. I'm a little bit sweating, but I'll be in the lab, the computer lab and an IT lab and stuff like that, and the other videos for the workshops, okay? So right now, okay, so there's a couple things going on. What's new, all right? I'm not gonna give you what's old, I'm gonna give you what's new and what's coming out, right? So what's coming out, so if you've been following my channel and you understand anything that I've been talking about, right? Solana. A lot of people are talking about Solana. We've been talking about Solana since it was like 20 bucks. I was one of the early tester developers on Solana with Metaplex, making NFTs and things like that. It was really cool to learn Rust and learn that programming language and learn the back end of Solana. It was at that moment I realized that Solana is a true contender to compete with the NASDAQ. And I know that is a crazy thing to say as I say it out loud. Like, how can you compete with the NASDAQ? But from a pure technological perspective, right? From a pure just like logical infrastructure. So for example, let's just keep it super simple. I'm not even gonna go techie with you guys. If we're building a house, like a brand new house, like a real house in real life, right? We need to build out the basement, the foundation. We need cement. Cement, make the foundation, then we can build, right, the rest of the house above that and on top of it. So with all of these new blockchains, right, we have Bitcoin, all right, that blockchain isn't the foundation infrastructure for the NASDAQ, but it's still a strong financial infrastructure foundation in fintech, right? In this new technology in the world of Web3. Okay, Ethereum is a strong foundation for decentralized applications, and it wanted to become like the next NASDAQ type, you can say. And they did something that was good for the ecosystem of Web3, but I don't know. I guess still we'll soon to find out if it was really good for Ethereum. I think so, a little bit, but at the same time, here it is. So so when Ethereum came out and people were transacting on Ethereum, it's very expensive, right? And it took some time. It was very expensive. So I'm sorry, that's my timer for it needs to go away. And let me go actually turn it off, right? Hold on. Okay. I gotta finish this, gotta make this quick because I got some things I gotta do, and then we'll be on a regular schedule. I will get you exactly where you need to be. I promise you, if you stick around, subscribe to my channel, you'll thank me later. And even the stuff that I'm giving you right now for free will still be valuable to you and still will help you. And really the difference of the school workshop that's $50 a month to now is that I really go more detailed in the trading strategy, entries, exits, what platforms I like, the on-chain analytics, a lot of boring stuff, but all of those things that's going to give you an edge over other people. And just if you like knowledge, it's still good to know. Whether you are a developer or you're just a newbie in the space, going back, I'm glad that I did all of that to at least shorten the learning curve path and journey for you. So that being said, right, so Ethereum started making layer 2s, right? So the technology behind it is called EVM, and the Ethereum virtual machines was open source and anyone can use it, right? And everyone started making these layer 2s. And so their decision at that time was like, hey, if we can get other people in this ecosystem using the EVM, our technology, it will help with the transactions. Now, the thing about that is that everyone made their own EVM and also made their own token. So you can say it didn't help Ethereum, but it still helped Ethereum because they gave the marketplace a gift. And I truly believe, and as we can see, right, they're going to be rewarded. And they were rewarded, right? They got the attention to the institutions. And then once they went from proof of work to proof of stake, so proof of work was the concept of where everyone was GPU mining, and a lot of people were trying to find graphics cards to mine Ethereum, right? And because when you provide the security and the computational power using your graphics cards on your computer, you're going to be rewarded in Ethereum. And I was mining, a lot of other people were mining, and then they changed it to proof of stake. Where you needed to have 32 Ethereum to set up a validator, and then you can go ahead and validate the transactions. Instead of having to purchase graphics cards, you have to now have 32 ETH. Now, because of that, it took out a lot of players that really brought Ethereum to where it was, to where it is today, you can say, or recently. But unfortunately, when it comes to innovation and technology, it's not unfortunately, I mean, this is just a journey. When it comes with technology and all this shit, right? Like, you still, like, the same plan and strategy that brought you from 0 to 100,000, and these are just like, you know, example numbers, fugazi numbers, like this is just for this one example, whatever, right? It's not like the price of Ethereum, right? When you have a strategy that can bring you from 0 to 100, right? The 100 to 1,000, all right, is a different strategy. Then the 1,000 to 10,000 is a different strategy, right? Then the 10, or you can even go longer. You can say the 0 to 100,000 is one strategy. From 100,000 to a million is a totally different strategy, right? And from a million to 10 million is another strategy, and so forth, right? So the strategy and the process and the steps and the actions that need to be taken will always be changing. And that is what blockchain will always be. It's going to always be changing. But that doesn't mean projects that are like old and in the last cycle or 2 cycles ago are still irrelevant or not important or not valuable. Okay, so I also don't want people to get caught up in the sense like you always got to find the new project for the new cycle. I mean, yes. Will those pump faster because they have no history and there's no resistance on the chart and bag holders? Of course, right? So those will run up from a trading perspective. But from a pure like technological perspective, Chainlink is an OG, right, project, super valuable to the ecosystem, okay? I'm not gonna go into everything that they do. Solana, fairly new. You can say it's an OG, I don't even want to call that OG, super valuable. Litecoin, way OG, right? Number 2 after Bitcoin, basically. Still super valuable. People sleep on Litecoin and they don't understand that. You can still use that blockchain and that network for your business or for anything that you're doing, right? When it comes to transacting with one another. So like there's still value with those projects, right? And you still, you know, Helium surprised the hell out of a lot of people. It surprised me too, right? I thought Helium was a great idea and I really liked the concept and it gave me something to work on. And we built out the decentralized wireless network, or before that, we built out the decentralized IoT network for IoT sensors and LoRaWAN technology. And that was so much fun, mapping out the network. That was actually that was like one of, not my top, but like a really fun time doing things, right? Because I actually had real hardware and testing things out. It was breaking, making sure the antenna was correct and right. But for massive growth, that's not fun, right? For the geeks and the engineers and all that stuff, like we like to do things like that. But for new people coming into the marketplace and trying to do growth, all of those things are just obstacles, right? And that most people will give up on. So they, had to transition, as they should have. And they did, and it happened successfully. When they transitioned to Solana, they kept growing, got more and more people. And now we have Helium Mobile, right? What was it? Mr. Beast was just talking about Helium Mobile, right? You can get, I have 3 phones using Helium Mobile. You can get a phone for your children for free using Helium Mobile, and it's cool that started from the grassroots, and using this new technology. So now that that's there, what else is new, right? You have Coinbase and Base Blockchain. Coinbase and Base Blockchain, they're doing some fantastic things over there. I'm not going to get into about the Coinbase hacks or a lot of people losing their coins or tokens or access to their Coinbase exchange wallets and all this stuff. I'm not going to go into any of that. Understanding different decentralized exchanges, understanding the purpose of each one, when to use it, when not to use it. I go over all of that in my workshops over at school. So you should join school if you are concerned about any of those things. And so, but Base is coming out, and so one of the decentralized exchanges on Base is Aerodrome. So I let a lot of the people in the group know about Aerodrome and what they're doing. So Aerodrome is similar to Uniswap, right? When Ethereum came out, they needed a decentralized exchange, and Uniswap was the decentralized exchange that everybody was using. Then they had PancakeSwap, right? There's a lot of other decentralized exchanges. So for Base and Coinbase and their ecosystem, their network, right? They have Aerodrome. So you can take a look at that if you want to learn more about the trading entries and exits. If you want to trade Aerodrome, go ahead and join us at school. Now, another thing that we're also looking at, I'm not sleeping on. I mean, we've been talking about Binance for a long time. Binance, I haven't seen people talk too much about BNB lately, but Binance has just been slowly creeping up. It wasn't that long ago we were talking about it. It was like in the 400s. I think last time I saw Binance it was like 700 or 800 or so. I don't know off the top of my head. I haven't looked at the charts yet today, surprisingly. And so they, Binance will have a huge grasp and market share in this market. So just keep an eye on stuff like that. And then so another, there's Polkadot, right? There's the Graph that does like sub-Curie, Curie. There's oh boy, there's a lot. And then you have memes, right? There's so much, right? There's so much we can go over, and it's hard to just pick ones and twosies. The point I'm bringing it up is just like, there's just a lot of opportunity for growth, right? There's a lot of opportunity for you to multiply. There's a lot of opportunity for people to participate in. So that's what's really awesome, and that's what's cool. So how do you get started in all of this, right? And why should you get started? Why should you be concerned? Well, for one thing, you're gonna need a wallet, okay? That is just number one. So Solana and the Solana Seeker is coming out. I can't wait to get my phone. The shipping just started, and hopefully I get the new phone soon so I can share it with all of you guys. But the Solana Seeker is coming out, and the Solana Seeker already has a phone wallet stored in the phone. We're gonna test it out. We're gonna see how secure that wallet is, how good it is, but it's supposed to be pretty awesome. The other type of wallets, right? We have hot wallets and we have cold wallets. Hot wallet. All right, maybe you know what? I'm gonna try it different this time. Actually, instead of saying the type of equipment there is, I'm gonna do it differently. If you want to just buy some, and like I said, disclaimer, it's not financial advice, educational purpose only. Read the disclaimer and description below. If you want to buy some Bitcoin, okay, you can use PayPal, Coinbase, Crypto.com, Stripe, Robinhood. Okay, you can buy some Bitcoin. You do not own that Bitcoin. You have exposure to the Bitcoin. I think that's the best way to put it. Because, and when I say you don't own it, it's because you don't actually control the wallet that the Bitcoin is stored in. So when you have the ETFs are good for exposure, but you still don't own it. Okay, let's just make that clear. It's not about good or bad. Okay, this is a Web3 open ecosystem. That means anyone can participate in. So if I were here and I said, oh, you have to use a Colbert wallet or a cold wallet and store it in a cell deep down in the basement in 3 different countries, like you have to do it this way, then we're no different than what we were trying to get away from, right? Forcing people into something and they have to make only one choice. The world of Web3, the world of blockchain, the world of cryptocurrency and decentralization, from my perspective, and I think people will agree with me or not, would be that this is a place where anyone and everyone can participate in. I know it started off, and it seemed like it started off like, oh, this is against the suits, this is against Wall Street, this is against the billionaires, this is against all of them, right? This is our space, you're not allowed here. But when you say that out loud and when you think about that, and yes, I know about past things and whatever, right? That doesn't mean you have to recreate all of that again. So if the goal of all of this is to make an even playing field for everyone, and then it needs to be a place that everyone and anyone can participate in, no matter your financial status, no matter your class, no matter what you look like, no matter where you live, as long as you have a device and internet access, you can participate in. And because it's an open world, there needs to be multiple layers, right? So institutions maybe want the ETF and the traditional side of things, using it with their toe in the water in the ecosystem. That's fine. Maybe some people want centralized digital asset security storage facilities, right? Where it will be like, what do they call it? Like what is it? The storage box, at the bank or whatever. I don't even, whatever they're called. I don't know why I'm drawing. It's a storage box, right? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank for a second for the name of it. But right, so like say if you're a facility that has a whole bunch of those, right, and you just want to store people's keys in there or something, or a part of their multi-sig, right, in there, that's okay, right? Or if you want to just have your own hardware wallet and store it yourself, that's okay. So it's really comes down to your comfortability, or you can just do all 3, right? All 4. There's plenty of options, and all of them are okay. It really comes down to what are you most comfortable with, okay, and what is within your comfort zone. And I just would suggest anything that's out of your comfort zone that you are interested in, reach out to a mentor. It really is. It really is. If you know someone, whether myself or anyone else that's in this space, right? You see them and it seems like what they're talking about. There's nothing wrong with just having a conversation with them and seeing the information they tell you. And if they tell you something that that you vibe with, and then you do some additional research on your own, and you're like, oh, this matches up, right? Well, then now you got a solid connection, right? You got a solid connection, solid mentor, really that can help you with your confidence. Because when it comes to new technology, it's best to have somebody that is in this space to help you. Now, the next thing is, right, so now those are just wallets, right? So then what can you do with the wallet? Well, you can buy some crypto and just hold it forever and keep it in your wallet, that's fine. You can also use your wallet to play games, right? There's going to be all these new and Web3 games right now you can do to purchase different things like Star Atlas and what they're building out with their ecosystem with Solana, right? There was the Axie Affinity game that was before. I don't know if that's still going on. There's Gala Games and their games that's out there. And honestly, Gala, what are you doing, Gala? I'm waiting for the next season of the show. Seriously, what's going on? If you guys don't know what show I'm talking about, I'll share it in my next video. But come on, Gala, get on that show. So, because the first season was fucking awesome, way super tight, like better than Netflix. Some Netflix shows. Like I was actually surprised at how well I liked it. I watched it like 3 times, and I don't normally like to rewatch things I've already seen. I think the only thing I really could do that with is with One Piece live action, Dragon Ball Z, some other, maybe some TV shows. Not really. Art. I'm not gonna. Never mind. I'm not gonna get into Archer. This shit cracks me up. I can rewatch that. But anyway, I'm going on the side tangent. That is a good show when that happens, right? When someone watches something and they want to rewatch it, even though they know what happens, you're onto something. So come on. Now another thing that we're also looking at, right? We got Solana. We talked about Solana. Where could it go? I have no idea what these numbers are, but I will leave you with this last thought because I'm rambling right now, and I have some other things I got to do. Remember, join us at school for detailed trades, earns, how to use these different decentralized applications, whether you want to do some yield farming or you want to trade or purchase some NFTs or even make your own NFT collection. That's for one-on-one consulting. You can hire me for that. But I really want to help out and share the knowledge that I have. And so I will leave you with this one thought. You can do nothing with this knowledge and it will be fine. You can do something with it and you will level up. But at the same time, remember, let's not go down the rabbit hole and make this difficult. It's really simple. We had a world where a lot of people couldn't participate, couldn't multiply their money, living paycheck to paycheck, and they always felt that no matter how hard they worked, they just couldn't get ahead. Web3 is that solution. And my name is Simon from W3MCT, and I'm here to provide you with a solution to a problem you don't know you have. Have a great day.